Okay, hello everyone. This is Mr. C of Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. Welcome, my seniors and special needs friends. It is time for your music session, and let's do our Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy jingle. If you know it, sing along. Here we go. Time for school, time for music, time to learn together. We can do it. Learning is fun, Mr. C. And learning is fun, everybody. Welcome once again, my seniors and special needs friends. We are going to do another piano chord today. I'm going to show you the next piano chord, okay? And then there are many, I have to say, guys, there are many chords. Like there are many notes, there are many chords that we can learn from. But I want to show you now another chord that we haven't learned. We learned the C, I should say we've learned the C major chord. Now I'm going to show you the C sharp / D flat major chord today, and you're going to know what all that means. Okay, exactly. But we're going to get right into it. First things first, of course, we do some stretches, right? And then we definitely get into our hymnal for today, which is Old Rugged Cross. So if you guys want, please go right into the next page on your laptop, or go into a tablet or your phone. Do a Google search of the song "Old Rugged Cross" and type in the word lyrics, and those lyrics should pop up right away, everybody. Okay, but let's get right to it, everybody. Here we go. I need everybody to sit up straight. Make sure we maintain posture. Okay, we're going to do some stretches to get our voices going, and I need everybody to make sure your shoulders are relaxed, your back is straight. And let's reach up as high as we can, everybody. Nice and slow. Reach up there as high as you can. And feel that nice stretch in the lower back. Remember, as I said, my friends, if you have issues where you can't reach up all the way, and you could go about this high or even this high, that's okay. Just, challenge yourself little by little, okay? But you never want to overdo it, everybody. You never want to overpush yourself. So reach as high as you can. And now take them down, take your arms down, and start rolling the shoulders back. Feeling that nice massage in your shoulder blades. Yeah, feels nice, right? And everybody roll the shoulders forward now. Roll the shoulders forward. Great. Now everybody, let's rotate our necks in a circle very slowly, my friends. Excuse me again. I had a little sneeze, but I'm okay, guys. All right. So keep rolling that neck very slowly around. Remember, if you have limited movement, which is kind of like this, then that's okay. As long as you're moving, that's really the key. And the more you challenge yourself with movement, everybody, the better, the more dynamic movement you'll be able to accomplish. You'll be much healthier for it, okay? So yeah, some of us can go about this much, and others can only go maybe just about this much. By the way, rotate in the other direction, everybody. Very slowly. All it takes is slow movements. It never takes, huge dynamic movement. Just slow dynamic movement is all that is needed to get our joints well, to be able to move around and to live healthy, guys. Okay, great job, everybody. Now look all the way up. Look all the way down. Look all the way to your right. Look all the way to your left. Tilt your heads to the right. Tilt your heads to the left. And now everybody shrug and hold your shoulders. Shrug and hold. Kind of like you're saying, I don't know. I don't know. All right. And drop them once again. Shrug and hold. Hey, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Okay. And drop them. And everybody, let's put our arms in front of us and start opening and closing our hands. Doing that movement there with our fine motors, right? Fine motor skills, opening and closing those hands. Improving on our grip strength. And now everybody squeeze and hold it. Keep squeezing, and shake it out. And take a deep breath in through your nose, everybody. And deep breath out. Once again, deep breath in. And deep breath out. All right. Great. We are all limbered up. Guys, let's get ready to do our hymnal. Now, the song, Old Rugged Cross, okay? Old Rugged Cross, such a wonderful hymn. Some of you may know it already, but I love this song. I love singing this song, not so much because we have to look at the material, the cross as anything, as if that has any power. But the old rugged cross is simply a symbol of remembrance of what Christ did for us, and that's all that's what it is. It's not in what we think that the actual cross itself does, but what it represents, what it reminds us of about how much Jesus Christ had paid it all for us. And so this little hymn here is such a wonderful reminder of that, as all hymns is a reminder of Jesus's goodness, and again how he gave up his life for all of his people. That's the idea. And so I pray definitely I'm one of his people, and let's praise him right now with this song. Take a look at those lyrics, okay? Think on him. That's the idea. And let's get our minds right as we're getting ready to learn our musical concept for today, okay? So have those lyrics handy, and let's get right to it. Follow along as best as you can, guys. On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross, where the dearest and best for a world of lost sinners was slain. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. To the old rugged cross I will ever be true. It's a shame and reproach gladly bear. Then he'll call me someday to my home far away, where his glory forever I'll share. And I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. And that was Old Rugged Cross. Old Rugged Cross. I hope you enjoyed it. And everybody give yourselves a nice round of applause if you were able to follow along with that. Okay, you know, as I always say, if it was a little bit difficult to follow along, you can always replay this video and practice, guys, in repetition. Just practice, practice, practice. So that was the Old Rugged Cross once again. Such a wonderful song. I love what it represents, okay? That's the idea. But in any event, it is now time for the core of our lesson, which is all about the new chord that I'm going to show you guys today. Now, if you recall, remember the digits the fingers that we're using, okay, is in the left hand we have our fifth finger, our third, and our first. But then in the right hand, first, third, and fifth. Well, not really a difference between. It's always 1, 1, 3, and 5. Okay, so wiggle your thumbs for your first finger. Your third finger is your middle finger, and your fifth finger is your pinky. Okay, so I'm going to show you basically, if you recall, the C major chord that I showed you guys last week was chords that involved only the white keys. Now we're going to add some of the black keys on our piano, okay? So please make sure you are at your keyboard, right? Your piano keyboard, your actual piano, if you guys happen to have a piano there, or your app on your tablet, okay? Make sure you have that set and ready, and make sure your posture is good, okay? Because we are about to start learning how to play, and it's in the title. It's the C sharp / D flat. So I'm going to show you what that is about, guys. Okay. But also, just to remind everybody and our Patreon members, okay, we have members of Patreon. Okay. Patreon.com / Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. Check out the details below, okay, to find out more on becoming a member of patreon.com again / Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. Okay, but that's without further ado. I'm gonna bring my camera over. All right, so I'm gonna move my camera, and so you can see all the keys as I have here. Okay, not the TV, but here we go. Just repositioning everything, and I'm just trying to get a nice straight. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's how much it tilts. Okay, here we go. This is a little better. I'm trying to make it short, make it so it's not crooked. Okay, but here we go. So let me grab my marker over here, and actually let me get this. This tends to be quite the glare. We don't need that. We don't need that in our lives right now. Okay, here we go. So taking a good look, okay, over here we are at middle C, okay? So here's middle C again. And as I said before, we are not using just the white keys. Now we're going to use some of the black keys over here. And this is the C below that, okay? So as you can see, but we're not involving all the way. In fact, on each hand, on each side, we're going to involve most of the black keys and maybe just one white key. And which one is that? Here's our F. Okay, so I'm going to go right to F here in both hands. All right, but what's going to happen is we're going to take a good look at our C, our middle C. Okay, right there. You guys can play it right there just for something. You know, I always tell my students, you know, where's middle C? You know, and they try to point it out. Hey, what are you being shy for? Play it. This is our time right now. We're going to, you know, play. Let's play some music. So there's our middle C. Okay, where's the C below that? Oh, there it is. Okay, so, but let's start with our right hand first. Okay, here's the right hand. We're finding middle C, and as I said before, whenever we're finding other notes, okay, middle C is our absolute best friend. Okay, it's two black keys in the middle of the keyboard and the white key just before it. Okay, so through finding where middle C is, we're learning to play our C sharp, or also known as, AKA, our D flat major chord, okay? C sharp or D flat. Now, what is that about? So, first of all, a sharp is known as an accidental. Everybody say that. A sharp is an accidental. So is a flat. A flat is also known as an accidental. So whenever you're describing sharps or flats, they are an accidental. Now, I'm writing this right over here, but not so that you guys can label it on the key. I just want you guys to be able to see this. So this is what's known as a sharp, okay? All right, so this is a sharp sign, okay? And this is a flat sign, okay? Does everybody see that? So that's a C, that's a sharp sign, and that's a flat sign. What's the difference? Well, a sharp sign, okay, is an accidental placed next to a letter name note, okay, to tell us that you've raised the regular note a half a step up. Notice where I'm pointing. Here's C. Here's middle C again, right? When we go up, which is towards the right, when we go up to this black note right over here, okay, to this black key, this is C sharp, because middle C, right? This is regular C, C natural, I should say. This would be C sharp, because all you did was by, if we wrote it on a piece of music, on a piece of paper, if you write a sharp, it's telling us that we've elevated, we've higher the note up a half a step. A distance between here and here is known as a half of a step, and this is what we call C sharp. It's C but sharped, meaning we took it up a half a step higher. Okay, that's what that is about. Okay, and if you notice, I'm gonna write this a little better. If you notice, the sharp sign kind of looks like a number sign or a hashtag or a pound sign, however you want to view it. Okay, but that is what the sharp looks like, or the tic-tac-toe thing. Okay, it's smaller, of course, but this again would be C sharp because it's right after your middle C. It's right after C. Okay, and the same thing over here in the left hand. Here's my lower C. Okay, here's my lower C. If we go up a half a step from there, that would be C sharp. C sharp. C sharp. Okay? Now, after that, but where does the flat sign get in? Where do we talk about the flat sign? So here's D in the left hand, okay? And I'm going to write a D over here because this actual note is D. Okay, this is a D. Now, I said before we're doing our C sharp / D flat chord, major chord. Okay, if this is D, whenever we put a flat sign, this little lowercase b, when we put a flat sign in front of a natural note, we actually lower it by a half a step, because D is here. Because D is here, we go a half a step lower this way. That is our D flat. So in other words, what are we saying here? C sharp, C sharp, and D flat are the same exact note. Let me say that again. C sharp and D flat is the same note. C sharp, D flat. We took the flat, we put a flat sign in front of the letter name, and we lowered the D by a half of a step towards the left. D flat. But when we put a sharp in front of the C, it's C sharp. C sharp. So this is C, this is C sharp. This is D, this is D flat. Okay? Are we getting this? C sharp, C sharp, D flat. So C sharp and D flat are the exact same note. Makes you think, oh wait, why? How could that possibly be? Well, it just is. What can I say? Okay, what can I say? It's because of where they are situated. Now, really, how could it be too? If it depends on what's written on a piece of sheet music. I think I sort of stated it before. Okay, so you might have a note that's written supposed to be as D, but the composer, the writer of the song, wants you to play it as D flat. Well, they're going to have a regular D on the musical staff, and then make sure to put a flat sign next to the note, next to the note head, so that you know to play this particular note. And the same thing with the C. If you happen to see a C note on the music, then what they want you to do is they want you to still play this note, but recognize it as C sharp, which is a half a step higher than the regular C. Or recognize it as D flat, because it's a half a step lower than the D. And then again, it really just depends. They are either going to put this hashtag sign, which is your sharp, or they're going to write a flat sign with this lowercase b, which is your flat sign. Flat sign means half a step lower. Sharp sign means half a step higher. Okay? That's the idea behind that. Now, Watch this, everybody. Oops, I just kicked my tripod a little bit. Now, we're learning our chord. Now, let's get to the actual chord. So, here's our C sharp, okay? Part of the C sharp major using our right hand first. Remember, your wrist has to be up and even. Your fingers curved, okay? Kind of like a cloth. Curved yet firm, okay? So, we're playing our C sharp with our thumb, but then our middle finger, our third finger, is going to play your F. Okay, so you see how that's working? So it's C, so watch, it's C sharp, F, okay? I should say C sharp, actually, technically speaking, okay? Let me show you guys something really interesting that you guys will probably blow your minds, okay? So here's our E, right? Here's regular E, C, D, E, okay? Now, between E and F, is there a black key at all? Not at all. There is no black key between. Notice how a lot of them have a black key between the two, right? But between E and F, there is no black key, okay? So, how do we tell if it's an E sharp or an F flat? Here's how we do that, which is, again, going to blow your minds, guys, okay? So if we're thinking of this as a C sharp major chord, C sharp major requires that we play C sharp, E sharp, G sharp. C sharp, E sharp, G sharp. But wait a minute, there's no black key between E and F. Well, that's because between E and F, because there's no black key, this is literally a half a step apart. And notice again how when we do sharps and flats, they're always a half a step apart from the regular notes. So if this is E, guess what F becomes? F becomes E sharp. Look at that. So in other words, E sharp and F are the same exact note. They're the same thing. Okay, actually, let me write that a little bit better. Okay, here we go. So we have our F, right? And then we have our E sharp. Okay, there it is. So E and F sharp, E sharp and F are the same note. They're the same exact note. It just depends on what's written on the sheet music. So we have C sharp, E sharp. We think of it as E sharp. And then here would be G sharp. Hey, how do we know? Here's G. Sorry, no, what I say? Never mind me. We have G right here. G is right here. When we go from G and half a step higher, that is G sharp. G sharp. So the three notes that are involved in a C sharp major chord is C sharp, E sharp, G sharp. Notice the way they sound. Do, mi, so. Kind of like we did our C major chord. Do, mi, so. They sound kind of like that, right? Da, 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 do, mi, so. Well, when now we change it into our C sharp major chord, C sharp, E sharp, G sharp, do, mi, so. Now look what I did there. I just played it arpeggiated. Remember that word, arpeggiated? Which is separate but in a rhythm. C sharp, E sharp, G sharp, da, ba, ba. Okay? Thumb, middle, pinky. Okay? So that's what we want there. But if we're going to play it in unison, right? That means we're playing this one, and this one. C sharp, E sharp, G sharp. Okay? In unison, that means being played all together at the same time. We're going to take our fingers, make sure again, firm and bent. Our wrist is up and even. And we're going to use our finger strings to play your thumb, middle, and pinky on C sharp, E sharp, and G sharp. And boom. Notice my index finger is slightly raised, and so is my ring finger as well. But it comes out like this. C, E, G. And play it in unison. And there we have it, okay? So that is what that looks like. Again, C sharp, E sharp, G sharp, played either arpeggiated or in unison, okay? So now that goes along with what we're doing over here. Let me rewrite this. So this is known as either our F or our E sharp, okay? F or E sharp, here's our G, right? Here's our E. Why not include them, right? I would definitely write it on the black keys, but of course it's black and so is this, right? But we have C sharp, E sharp. Here's G, we go to G sharp. And that makes up the C sharp major chord. C sharp, E sharp, G sharp. Making sure, again, your left hand up and even with the wrist, fingers curved yet firm. Here's the pinky on your fifth finger, C sharp. Middle finger plays the E sharp. Your third finger and your thumb plays, which is your number one finger, plays the G sharp. That's arpeggiated, but now in unison, all together at the same time. And we use our finger string to play all those three notes at the same time. Okay, that is how that goes. So now, basically, for the D flat now, the D flat major chord, here is the trick. It's the same exact notes, the same notes. So we just discussed how this is regular D and D flat is here as well, right? C sharp and D flat are the same exact notes. C sharp, D flat. C sharp, D flat, okay? They're the same exact notes. And so as we look carefully over here, this is known again, depending on what we write, this is known as our D flat. Now, in this case of D flat, this is no longer E sharp, but F. We're thinking of it as F. F. And then, actually, let me write one more letter name. Right after G actually comes A, right? Do it on both sides. Okay, so there's our A. But part of the D flat major chord is D flat, F, and A what? If this is A, and we go down a half step, what is that known as? If you said A flat, you are absolutely right. Here is A flat. So we have C sharp. I'm sorry, not C sharp. Back in C sharp. D flat, F, A flat. Still causing that same do, mi, so kind of sound, right? So when we do our curved fingers, we play the same notes. The black key in the thumb, which is D flat. Thinking of it now as D flat. F in the third finger. And A flat in the fifth finger, pinky. So we play it either arpeggiated, separate, in rhythm, or we play it in unison, together at the same time. Okay, same thing over here. D flat, F, A flat, and we go arpeggiated or unison. Okay, and that is our C sharp, also known as AKA D flat major chord. Why? Why C sharp and D? Because this is the root. It is the root of each chord, right? It is the first note. Playing in the thumb in the right hand, pinky in the left hand. If we play them together, both hands, right? C sharp, E sharp, G sharp, or known as D flat, F, A flat. Okay, there's the arpeggiated. Here's the unison. Play both like that, okay? This is what I would say, my friends. Always play those arpeggiations, play them separately, play them together at the same time. Do it constantly, repetitiously. Practice this for a while, right? And then practice doing them at the same time. All in unison. Keep doing this so that you get used to it, everybody. You get used to it. Because playing piano can be very awkward, okay? But if you do it repetitiously, that awkward feeling that you first feel will become now like second nature. Okay, that's how that goes. Okay, if you're not entirely sure of what basically of what we did over here, always know that you can go back to this video, all right, and watch carefully and try to practice it. Okay, everybody? Great job, everyone. Good job. I'm going to refocus my camera back on me so that I can talk to you guys. All right. All right. Great job, everybody. I hope you got a lot out of that. For my Patreon members, look into your dashboard. Be ready to find this particular worksheet, this skill sheet checklist to work on it on your own. Okay. And, again, practice. Use the video. You definitely use the video again, and then use the worksheet to reiterate those skills that we just went over today, okay? So, guys, give yourselves a nice round of applause for sticking with me on this with this lesson. And great job today, guys. You did a fantastic job. Always, I always like to, again, start off those hymnals. Definitely gets me into the right mood. I got to tell you, too, I was running around with my dog today. And let me tell you something. I was running around with him, and and I forgot how fast he was. And he really, let's just say I took a spill outside with him, and definitely made me realize how fast of an animal he is, how strong he is, And we had a good time. We had a good laugh about it. And even before coming here, I was just feeling a little bit overwhelmed because now I had to set up and all of this stuff. But every time I start playing those hymnals, okay, and I do this in the morning too before I start my regular work job. Before I start that, I start playing hymnals on the piano before I start seeing my students and everything like that. And so whenever I feel overwhelmed and stressed out and getting things ready, I know that playing those hymnals really calms me down. It's something that I purposely planned because I know how much it helps me, and so prayerfully, it does help you as well. In fact, I know it helps you. I know, guys, that singing along to a hymnal, praising God and thanking Him, that really gets us in the right mood for everything that we're going to do. So, so I just wanted to share that little anecdote. Okay, I was all harried and everything like that, but once I got to sitting down and playing and singing the Old Rugged Cross, it turned my mood, much different, So, always be in the practice of that. And, I just want to give my general shout outs to my friends all over the world: Sri Lanka, India, Philippines, China, Japan, South America, UK, Australia, and of course the United States, and anywhere else around the world who have been watching me. Thank you very much. And my Patreon members, thank you very much for your support of Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. And so, guys, I can't wait to see you guys next week. We will practice some more piano chords, okay? Everybody, have a great day. And as always, I wish you happy practicing. Everyone, take care. Bye.